You are 16 years old and live in Sinaloa, Mexico. The poverty you know is not just the absence of money. It's the absence of a future. It's different. When you look ahead, you don't see a career. You don't see college. You don't see options. You only see the same dirt road, the same scorching sun, the same hunger that doesn't completely go away. Your father disappeared 3 years ago, without explanation, without a body, without answers. Your mother wakes up before sunrise, takes 2 buses, works 12 hours in a stuffy factory, and comes back with 200 pesos in her pocket. $10. That's what an entire day of her life is worth. You can't look at her without feeling a mixture of love and guilt that has no name. Today the refrigerator is empty. It's not a metaphor, it's physically empty. And you know that if no money appears this week, the rent won't be paid. And it is precisely at that moment, when shame and despair mingle in a heavy silence, that a white pickup truck slowly pulls up beside you. The window rolls down. A man in sunglasses and a gold chain looks at you as if he already knows exactly how much you are suffering. Want to make real money? You don't speak. You just nod. He places a brick wrapped in plastic and duct tape in the space between you. Exactly 1 kilogram. You don't need to open it to know what it is. Everyone on your street knows what it is. Cocaine. Take this to the house 3 blocks north. Knock twice. They'll give you 500 pesos. Come back here in an hour. You look at the brick. You look at the empty street. You look at your hands. And you take it. This is level 1. This is how the cartel recruits. And the most disturbing thing isn't the cocaine. It's how easy it was to say yes. There was no threat. No gun was pointed. It wasn't necessary. Extreme poverty had already done the hard work years before. The cartel didn't force you. It just showed up at the right time with the right proposition. They're experts at this. They know exactly where to look, exactly when to approach, exactly what to say. Poverty isn't just sad. Poverty is the most efficient recruitment weapon in the world. And the cartel understands this better than any government. Leave a like if you didn't imagine it was this simple. 500 pesos for delivering a package. Now imagine earning that every day, without even leaving your block. You delivered the brick. You knocked twice on the door. A hand appeared through the crack, took the package, and placed 500 pesos in your hand without saying a word. You had never seen that amount of money gathered together before. You stood there for almost a whole minute, just looking at the bills. Then you walked back to the white pickup truck. The man was waiting. He looked you up and down. Good job. Want more? You say yes before you finish hearing the sentence. He explains your new role with the coldness of someone describing a supermarket job. You will be all cone, a falcon, a lookout. Simple job. You stay at a specific point on the street. You observe everything that moves. If you see police, you send the code word, Aguila. If you see soldiers, Leon. If you see the rival cartel, Serpiente. That's it. 500 pesos a day. Every day. You go in, and you do it for 6 months. Morning to night. You are the cartel's eye on a street corner. You learn to be absolutely still, to look bored, invisible, a kid leaning against the wall. And that's exactly why you're valuable, because no policeman, no soldier, no rival will suspect you. Weeks pass. Convoys of black SUVs, with tinted windows, cross your field of vision. They are worth more than your entire street. You learn to don't look at them. Never make eye contact. You exist, but you don't exist at the same time. Then one day the police raid the place. You send Aguila 30 seconds before they arrive. The cartel cleans everything up before the first police cars turn the corner. Nothing is seized. The next day, the man in the white pickup truck comes looking for you and puts 2,000 pesos in your hand. Good job. You saved millions. One word on a cheap cell phone. 2,000 pesos. You saved millions of pesos with one word. But along with the money comes what wasn't part of the deal. You start seeing things. You see the cartel execute a traitor in an alley. You see a man dragged from his house and thrown into the trunk of a black car. You see things that won't leave your eyes, not because they're graphic, but because they're too normal. The people around you don't react. Everyone lowers their heads and keeps walking. And you realize something no one told you. You're not just a lookout. You're an accomplice. If the police catch you, you'll go to jail. But you're also paying the rent, buying food. Your mother doesn't have to work overtime anymore. At 16, you're the man of the house. So you keep going. Because what's most frightening isn't the things you see. It's how much has become a burden. It's easy to learn not to see anymore. What would you have done in his place? 10 years in American prison. For $500. Would you do that? You're 18 years old. 2 years as a lookout. 2 years without getting caught. 2 years reliable, punctual, silent. The cartel noticed. You get a promotion. Now you're a mule, transporting product across the border into the United States. Sometimes you drive. Sometimes you walk. Sometimes you hide drugs in secret compartments, in the fuel tanks, in the spare tires, in the door panels. And sometimes you swallow. 50 pellets of cocaine wrapped in latex, each the size of a grape. If one ruptures inside you, you die in minutes. Fulminant overdose. But each trip pays you 10,000 pesos. Sometimes more. Your first crossing. You drive a car loaded with 50 kilos of cocaine hidden in the door panels. You cross Tijuana. The border agent looks at your documents, looks at your face, and waves you through. You don't even. Searched. Delivery to a warehouse in San Diego. Returns empty. Too fast. Too easy. But the cartel warns, for every 10 trips, you get caught once. That's the cost of the business. If you get caught, serve your sentence. Don't talk. If you talk, we kill your family. On the 5th trip they stop you. Agents pull the car to the side. Trained dogs. Detectors. 2 agents search the car for 2 whole hours. The dogs get agitated near the doors. They sense something. But the compartment is too good. They find nothing. They let you go. That night you can't sleep. You keep replaying the 120 minutes of the search, second by second. And a simple calculation paralyzes you. You risked 10 years in American prison for 10,000 pesos. $500. 10 years of your life. $500. You meet other mules. One is 15 years old. Swallow pellets because the mother has cancer and needs treatment. You see in her eyes the same thing you see in the mirror every morning. Absolute despair with no visible way out. You are all trapped. The cartel doesn't have a signed contract with you, but it owns you in everything that matters. You can't leave. Whoever leaves becomes a threat. Threats disappear. So you keep crossing the border. You keep praying that no pellet breaks. It's still $500. Imagine risking 10 years in prison for $500. Share so someone can see the reality of this. Tem 21 años. Está aprendiendo a desenvolver ser humano emocido. Yo que me asusta now foio acido. Tem 21 años. Mais de 50 travessias sem ser pigo. O cartel te oferece uma escola de vida. Continue sendo mula e eventualmente sea preso. O you torna-se sicario. Executor, assassino profissional. Salario fixo. Bonus por trabalho. Voce escolho sicario. Porque já prefiro arriscar a morte a arriscar preseo. Pense no que isso significa sobre onde voce chego. Els te trainam. Te dawam que, 47. Ensinam a adorar. Now comate, execucos. Como immobilizer algum. Como extrair informacal pelador. Como descartar corpo para que nunca sea encontrado. Aos 21 años. Voce está aprendendo a desenvolver ser humano emocido. E o professor explica o processo com a mesma calma de quem ensina, comica no colégio. Sua primeira missão e aviso. Empresario local recurso pagar protocolo. Voce mais trace, sicarios veo a loia dele. Quebramos vitrines. Espancam o dano na frente dos funcionários. Now madam ainda. Isso o capitulo e ele pega no dia seguinte. Sua segunda missão e diferente. A membro do cartel rival foi visto no su território. Su chief te passa uma foto. Encontra. Mata. Faz público. Voce o encontra number bar. Intercom dois outros. Saca arma. Dois tiros no paido. Na cabica. Todos gritam. Voce sai. Entra no carro. O processo inteiro leva 90 segundos. Voce acabou de matar hamim. Tem 21 años. Io que mais te assusta, e que voce, não sente absolutamente nada. Isso e mais aterrorizing do que qualquer coisa, que voce já viu. A violência escala. O cartel esta guerra aberta. Decapitacos. Corpos pendurados pontes com incigens. Voce participa de algumas dessas cenas. Tem que participar. Quem recusa e fraco. Quem e fraco mor. Ente o chief manda voce matar jornalista. Reporter que escreve sobre violência do cartel. Voce sabe que isso é diferente. Matar rival e guerra. Matar civil e outra coisa. Mas voce já mata 6 pessoas. O que mais uma. O jornalista tem família. Esposa. 2 filhos. Voce observa a rotina por uma semana. Na quinta noite, quando ele sai do carro na entrada de casa, voce atira. Ele cai. A esposa of os tiros. Cor para fora. Vi ele sangrando. Grita. Voce parte. Mas naquela noite, pela primeira vez em anos, voce não consegue tirar o grito dela de cabeça. Não e remorso que salva vidas. Mas o inicio de alguma coisa que vai te destruir por dentro muito mais devagar do que qualquer bala. 150 jornalistas mortos no Mexico desde 2000. Não só estatísticas. Só voces silenciadas. Dixam like esse ISSOT impacto. Prompts de imagem bloco for. Prompt 1. O treinamento com AK-47. Cinematic dark photograph. A young Mexican man 21 years old standing in a dimly lit warehouse, holding an AK-47, expression blank and emotionless, hard shadows across his face from a single industrial light above, brick walls, stacked crates in background, other silhouetted figures barely visible at the edges of frame, heavy and oppressive atmosphere, desaturated color grade with harsh contrast, photorealistic 8K quality, crime thriller aesthetic. Prompt 2, O Bar 90 Segundos. Dark cinematic bar interior in Mexico at night. Emergency chaos. Tables overturned, people cowering, blurred figures running in background. A silhouetted man with a gun walking toward the camera exit. Dramatic motion blur on the fleeing crowd. Harsh lighting from overhead bar lamps. Color grade, deep blacks, harsh amber lights. Extremely cinematic, no explicit gore. Tension and violence conveyed through composition and light. 8K. Prompt 3. A esposa que grito. Cinematic nighttime exterior of a simple middle-class Mexican home. A woman in her 30s on her knees on the driveway screaming. Street light illuminating her in a pool of cold blue-white light. Parked car door open beside her. Darkness surrounding the scene. No blood or gore visible. Only anguish and horror on her face. Cinematic wide-angle lens. Heavy atmosphere, photorealistic 8K, heartbreaking composition. You have 50 hitmen, control an entire city, and earn $100,000 a month. And you're the most imprisoned man in the world. You're 26 years old. You've survived more than most. You've been shot twice. You've survived 3 ambushes. You've killed 23 people. And that's why you get promoted. Plaza Boss. You control 30 square kilometers of territory. Everything that happens there goes through you. Drug distribution, extortion, kidnappings, executions. 50 hitmen under your command. You earn 200,000 pesos a month. New pickup truck. Your own house. People on the street lower their gaze when you pass by. It's not respect, it's fear. And you've learned that in the world where you grew up, fear and respect are exactly the same thing. But the real job isn't killing. It's managing. You negotiate with the local police, 50,000 pesos a month, to look the other way. You finance politicians' campaigns. In exchange, they don't ask questions. You manage the supply chain. Cocaine arrives from Colombia, passes through the port. Your men collect, cut, package, and distribute it. Every step needs to be perfect. Any mistake costs millions. Mistakes kill. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel decides to advance on your territory. They kill 3 of yours. You retaliate by killing 5 of theirs. They assassinate a city councilman under your protection. You kidnap their local boss, extract information, discover routes and names, execute him, and dump the body in rival territory with a message. This is cartel war. escalating until one side bleeds more. The war brings in the federal army. Checkpoints. Raids. You lose product. You lose money. Your boss is furious. So you negotiate a truce with your rival. Not because you want peace, because war is terrible for business. You divide territory. You establish borders. You agree not to kill each other without prior approval. A fragile peace that can break at any moment. You also manage your own men. Some are using the very drug they sell. Becoming careless. You punish them with beatings, demotions, executions. Last month, you personally shot a 19-year-old hitman in the head for embezzling money. You knew his mother. But rules are rules. Those who don't follow them lose control. Those who lose control die. Running a cartel is identical to running a corporation. With one detail, HR disputes end in executions. This business model is more efficient than many legal companies. This is terrifying. Sherrod. He's 30 years old and a millionaire. He controls 300 hitmen, and he can't sleep in the same place 2 nights in a row. You're 30 years old. Your regional boss was arrested in a military operation. The cartel chooses you to replace him. Now you control 5 cities, more than 300 hitmen. You oversee the movement of tons of cocaine per month. You earn 2 million pesos per month, 100,000 US dollars. You're a millionaire at 30, and you're the most paranoid man on the planet. You change where you sleep every night. 24-hour bodyguards. You don't use a cell phone. Only physical human messengers. You don't completely trust anyone. Not even your lieutenants. Not even your family. Especially not your wife. Because the cartel has an absolute rule. Family is a bargaining chip. If you betray them, they kill your family. If your family betrays you, you have to eliminate them yourself. Your life is strangely empty. You have houses, cars, jewelry, which you never wear, because wearing it attracts attention. You can't travel internationally. You can't post anything. You can't live like a normal rich person. You are a prisoner of your own success, inside compounds, behind walls, with armed guards in every corridor. The American government puts a $5 million bounty on your head. Your picture appears on posters. Your name in the newspapers. The Mexican government launches a manhunt. Military, federal police. You flee to the mountains. A remote farm with 50 armed men. But you know it's a matter of time. They have satellites, drones, informants. You are hiding in the forest from billion-dollar technology. Then comes the betrayal. From within, one of your lieutenants makes a deal with the DEA. He gives away your location. In exchange for protection and money, the army arrives at dawn. Helicopters. Hundreds of soldiers. You try to escape through a tunnel, but they are waiting at the exit. You surrender. You are extradited to the United States. You are 31 years old, and your empire has just crumbled because a single person decided that their own life was worth more than loyalty. In the cartel world, there is no loyalty. There is self-interest. And when the interest changes, you fall. Regardless of how many years you gave, how many people you killed, how much you built. The next block is the most disturbing of all. He is in a cell, and yet he orders executions. He's in solitary confinement 23 hours a day. No window, no human contact. And yesterday he ordered an execution in Mexico. You are 32 years old. You are in ADX Florence, Colorado, the most severe maximum security prison in the United States. They call it the Alcatraz of the mountains. Concrete cell. 23 hours a day in solitary confinement. No window. No human contact. 1 hour of exercise alone in an open-air cement cage. Sentence. Life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. You will never get out of here alive. And here is the absurd paradox you are about to experience. From inside this cell, you still have real power. The cartel leadership operates largely from inside prisons. Through lawyers who visit monthly. Letters with codes. Family members who pass messages. Once a month your lawyer shows up. The Tijuana Plaza boss is embezzling money. What do? You pass a note. A week later, he's dead. You ordered an execution from inside a cell in Colorado, and it happened 2,400 kilometers away, in another country. You also negotiate with other incarcerated leaders. Territorial disputes. Alliances. Supply chain agreements. The prison has become a meeting room for organized crime. The cells are offices. The yard is the conference room. The guards are employees who can be bribed. From 2 cells in an American building, you and another leader have just created the largest drug trafficking alliance in North America. It's worth billions of dollars, controlled by 2 men who will never see the world free again. But prison is also hell in ways that no amount of money can solve. Your daughter is 12 years old. You haven't touched her in 6 years. You see her once a year through bulletproof glass. She cries every time. His wife divorced him. She couldn't bear the stigma. She remarried. His empire ended. His family ended. His freedom ended. You have power. But what is power when you're in a concrete box for the rest of your life? This is not fiction. This happens. The system is so broken that prison has become a cartel headquarters. Comment what you think. 43 dead on my conscience. A grandson I never met. 40 years ahead in this cell. Was that what it was worth? You are 45 years old. 13 years in this cell. 40 ahead, if you live that long. Most cartel leaders die in prison. Heart attack, cancer, violence from other prisoners. You will probably die here alone, in a concrete box in Colorado, 2,400 kilometers from home, surrounded by ghosts. Sometimes you think about the choices, about the people you killed. Was it worth it? You made millions. You had power. You had something you called respect, but you lost everything that really mattered. Your daughter is 25 now, married, has a son. Your grandson. You never met him. She stopped visiting 5 years ago. Changed her last name. Doesn't want any association with who you are. Your mother died 3 years ago. You couldn't go to the funeral. The request was denied. Security risk. Your brothers are dead. One murdered by a rival cartel, the other from an overdose of the same drug you trafficked. Your family was destroyed. And it's your fault. You also think about the 43 people you killed. You remember some faces, the journalist, the businessman, the 19-year-old hitman you yourself executed. But honestly, most of them blended in. They were targets. They were jobs. But they were people. They had families, dreams, futures. And you erased them for money, for power, for cartel that doesn't even remember your name anymore. New leaders have emerged. The machine keeps running. You are forgotten. You watch reports about the cartel on the Cell TV. The violence is worse, more brutal, more public. The Mexican government says it is winning the war on drugs. But the cartels are richer, stronger, and more violent than when you were 16 and received a brick through the window of a white pickup truck. And you realize something definitive and irreversible. You didn't build anything. You didn't create anything. You only fed the machine. And the machine devoured you alive, as it devours everyone who serves it, at all levels, in all countries, in all centuries. You've been here for 13 years. You'll be here for another 40. And when you die, you'll die here, alone, forgotten, with the ghosts of 43 lives keeping you company forever. Maybe that's exactly what's fair. If you've made it this far, you understand. Subscribe to the channel. Next week, each level of an illegal fighting circuit, from backyards to million-dollar arenas.